Hi everyone, this is Mr Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. This is of a patient who attended with bilateral. So when we say bilateral, with reference to ears, we mean both ears. Really dry, occluding earwax and dead skin, and they've got very hairy ear canal entrances, as you may have observed already, and also very narrow ear canals. So all these three things together just make this procedure slightly more tricky than the norm, but nonetheless, we managed to remove the occlusion from both ears, and just to help, I've just instilled some olive oil medical grade spray, and what that does, it just softens this dead skin and wax. It helps to get better suction grip. It lubricates the canal wall, so as I'm extracting the wax and keratin plug, there's less friction, less resistance when I'm pulling it away. It also helps to lubricate the inside of the sucker, so it prevents blockages caused by wax and keratin moving up the tube. Now this plug, you could say it had characteristics of keratosis obturans, so it's possibly a grade 1 keratosis obturans, a very mild form, because this plug did expand within the ear. So keratosis obturans is an accumulation of dead skin within the ear canal, and which then forms into a plug. It normally occurs more medially towards the eardrum, but it can also occur in the mid-canal section. And as this plug gets bigger and bigger, it widens and it expands, and it starts to also deform and stretch wider the ear canal itself, which you can imagine the force applied, because the temporal bone, which is the bone that makes the ear canal, it's believed to be the second toughest and strongest bone in our body, behind the tibia or fibia, or both of those really. Or was it the femur? I can't remember, but I think it's the leg bone. As I'm just because it's gonna annoy me, and I'm gonna just find out which one it is. Nonetheless, you can see how the oils really helped, and with dead skin, so when you've got keratosis obturans, it's got this springy consistency. It's very elastic, and you can see that in this case, as I'm removing the skin, it's stretching. So the thigh bone, the femur, is believed to be the strongest bone, and followed by the temporal bone. And that's quite incredible how some wax that forms into a plug that accumulates in the ear can start to stretch and widen the ear canal. You can imagine how painful that would be within your ear as well, if that is the case. So slowly but surely I'm bringing this out. Now, quite often, one of the common questions we get is, why do we not trim the hairs? Now, the hairs are there for a reason. They do help to filtrate the air, so it purifies the air. And the hairs also secrete oils. Some of these oils then form earwax. But the oils that form earwax are sebum, which is a fatty, oily secretion. Same substance we find on our scalp. And if you've got this specific gene mutation, an oily sweat, same sweat we find on our armpits. These oils are secreted within the ear, and the glands are located at the follicles of these hair strands. And these oils provide a chemical barrier, so they're slightly acidic. Therefore, they help to inhibit certain bacterial and fungal growth because of the acidity. And they also provide a physical barrier, so they help to moisturize and hydrate, nourish the ear canal. The skin that lines the ear canal is very, very sensitive and delicate, and it prevents bacteria from penetrating the ear canal. So it's a chemical and physical barrier these oils provide. So these hairs are quite important. Now, of course, when you've got excessive hairs, they can be counterintuitive. They can stop the wax from migrating. The wax and skin even can mat against the hairs. Occasionally I do remove the hairs when I'm not able to get a view at all because of the hairs, and I just use forceps actually, and we pluck them. It's very well tolerated by patients. I didn't think it would be, but I was rest assured by my colleague who's an ENT surgeon that it was, and they were quite correct. But in a procedure like this, where you can see once we get deeper in the ear, the hairs don't make any issue at all. So the hairs are exclusively located on the cartilaginous portion of the ear canal, which is the outer third. So beyond that, you shouldn't find any hairs, because where I am now on the bony part of the ear canal, it's literally skin on bone. And it's a very thin layer of skin, and this skin layer, the epithelial layer, doesn't house any hair strands or follicles. So the eardrum's in view, and it's just a bit of keratin here on the front part of the ear canal. I'm just going to remove that. He's got a bit of a bendy ear as well. We have to veer off to the left and then back to the right. There's just some crusted skin on the roof of the ear canal. Just managed to peel that away. There's some skin just here. The skin wasn't fully ready to be removed. It's not completely shedded yet, so any crusty bits we removed, but everything else we just left behind because it's in the process of shedding and releasing it. So even here, the skin's not quite ready to remove it. There is this layer is dying and it's almost dead, but it hasn't actually detached itself from the canal wall. I'm happy with that. We're now going to go to the left ear. Now you can see they've got loads of hairs. Now this wax was a lot drier. It's more crusted. It was less springy and elastic compared to the right side. So I'm just going to use a hook. So I've just gone in with the hook, trying to get it into the core, bring it away, but the skin was attached and adhered to the canal wall. So in a moment, I'm going to go to the back part of the ear canal and just almost elevate the skin plug away from the canal wall, so to help detach it. See, I'm on the back part of the ear canal, I'm just moving it away, then back to the roof. And once you've detached it, you can then get the hook in and behind and bring this out. The patient found this slightly uncomfortable, and that's because the surface you'll see here, it's very rough. It was like sandpaper. So as I was bringing it out, it was abrasing the canal wall. But they were fine. Could continue. So we're going to go back in. Ear canal's clear. There's just a bit of dry skin around the edge, so I just thought I'd go back in and just get this out for the patient as much as I could anyway. So just some dead skin near the eardrum. And then there's a bit on the posterior canal wall. I actually had to resort to using forceps to remove a bit. See, it's really crusted there. I'm just using the fine end sucker at the moment just to lift it and elevate it away. Just going to go back in. So this skin, it can work both ways. So in the right side, you would have seen it was very when it accumulated in a plug, it was a bit softer. I suspect when it forms into a plug, which this skin quite hasn't yet, because it's coiled around, the skin kind of folds over itself, and that can create a bit of sweat and humidity, and the humidity again softens the skin. Whereas this wasn't formed into a plug, and it can therefore have the opposite consistency. It can dry and crust. I'm just lifting this from the base. This is the bit that I just go in with the forceps just to pinch it away and dissect it away. Getting the forceps in the patient's ear was a bit tricky in itself because of how narrow their ear canal was. You can see it fills up. And these are the micro drawers. These are really, really small. It doesn't look small on camera, I admit, but they are the smallest forceps. There we are, just pinched it away. So that's the patient's eardrum. Really pleased with that. Patient was too. There's all the wax and dry skin. To the bottom right of the screen, it's about 4 o'clock. That's that large plug I removed from their left ear. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and you're all keeping well and safe and taking care of yourselves. Do stay tuned. I've got loads more videos to upload in due course. And speak soon. Bye.